How's it going? D'Angelo Dismutes, Mills 313. Let's get it.
Yeah. Batman, Batman. Hear you rappers talking crazy. Batman, Batman. No, you rappers still don't faze me. Batman, Batman. Am I at the top? Well, maybe.
I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Started making music around the age of 14, and I progressed that all the way to 16, which led me to come here to Full Sail. First written song. It was 4 years ago. My first written song was called Dear God, and I spoke about what I was feeling because I was alone at that time, and I basically spoke on how I was feeling and how God was there to help me. My music impacted my life because I remember one song, Power, that I made, that I performed at the talent show. I was basically the same situation as how I was in Dear God. I was alone. My mom was in a hospital for 2 months. I was alone for that entire period of time. Nobody was there. So I sat back, wrote to that, took a break from it because I wanted it to be something really special. So the fact of it impacted me to see that song and to hear people actually vibing with that track is just basically being at where I want to be. So it's a great impact to me. Biggest inspirations, I'll have to go with Logic, of course, Frank Sinatra, NF, G-Eazy, basically all the big name people that nobody would really mess with. I had a ton of obstacles creating music because there were people that weren't even supporting me, and then when they were actually with me at the time. So it goes to show people that see you succeed want to bring you down because they see how far you're going. When it comes down to performing, I throw everything at the back of my head and just think about the crowd and the interactions because that's what you really need. It's not about making a show for you, it's about putting on the show for the crowd and putting on the show for the entire audience.
Yo, what's good? My name is Young YJ. I'm from the south side of Chicago, Illinois. Growing up for me, man, it was kind of rough, man. I wasn't the most popular kid in school all my life, so most of my life I was bullied, which fueled me and pushed me to drive, further into my career, and which made me a better rapper because every time I would feel frustrated or, angry or disappointed, I would put all that into the music. So that really helped. I started making music when, really, if you really want to get detailed about it, I was actually just I would find pencils and other things I could drum on and stuff like that, buckets and all that stuff. So I was doing that since I was a child, but I matured more into it around the age of 7 when I heard the Carter 3. That's what really made me say, okay, I want to be a rapper. The first song I ever wrote, man, I can't remember the first song I ever wrote, but I can tell you the first song I ever recorded was called Finally Famous. And I recorded that on a BlackBerry in a bathroom at my high school. I was in summer school, which is where I met another recording artist that I'm very close to, Dizzy, that I grew up with a great portion of my life. And I would just go to his spot and record music, sneak there whenever I can, and just record music all day long. So the first song I ever recorded was called Finally Famous. I was going to go on tour recently, but that got pulled back because, investors and stuff, they pulled out at the last minute and stuff. But that's how the game goes, you know what I'm saying? You just keep on going, you keep trying, and you keep talking to people and stuff like that. So financial was one of the biggest things, but once I got some money, it really started propelling. I was able to meet up and get with better producers, make better music. Some challenges that I also faced was the mental state of being in this, always just being focused on my grind, not knowing yourself. It's like the same. If you know yourself and know your enemy in 1,000 battles, you'll never perish. So I really hope to change my circumstances for the better, change my family circumstances for the better, and change the people around me mindset and circumstances for the better also, through reaching out to them through my music.
Hi, my name is James Dunn, also known as Dimes. I'm from Cape Coral, Florida. I came to Full Sail for recording arts. My brother and I had a home recording studio, and we recorded instruments and stuff like that. Like bands came through and recorded, and he was really into mixing and stuff before me. But one time I went to Guitar Center and I found they had this thing right here set up at the place, and I started messing around with it for a long time, and I eventually was like, hey, I want to buy one because they seem pretty cool. It's a machine, and I just started using it and started using it more. And at first I wasn't really good, but I went to school at FGCU for a semester. I was undeclared, and then after that I came back and I started recording like rappers and stuff like that from around my area. And that's how I got into vocal production, and I got more into it because they started paying me money and stuff because I had a home studio. And then I started selling some beats too and stuff, and I was like, okay, maybe I could, do both. Go to Full Sail. Full Sail was like kind of close to where I live. I live like 3 hours south. So I was like, all right, why not? I take a lot of inspirations from a lot of different places, but my favorite artist is Logic, and he's D's favorite rapper. But I also think he's a very good producer too. He produced his last 2 albums. And I think I love his production style. He raps pretty good too. He's also my favorite artist, but as a producer, he's one of my favorites.